Hello, my name is Tammy. Welcome to my channel, Let's Heal, where we discuss topics surrounding narcissistic relationships and how to protect yourself while in them and work towards getting out of them. Today, I want to discuss a topic about emotional detachment. I have compiled a list of 6 different ways that you can give yourself some emotional detachment from your narcissist, which perhaps will give you a chance to breathe and a chance to step back a little bit to see the situation for what it really is. I know with myself, your head can just be swimming with trying to analyze everything and figure out why this person is so difficult and why nothing you're doing is working. And sometimes you get so lost in that you can't even begin to figure your way out of it. I know I have felt that way. I've been in a relationship with a narcissist for going on 5 years, about 4.5 years now, and have a daughter with him, and he lives in my house. And in the beginning of the relationship, I spent a lot of time crying and a lot of time trying to prove to him that I was not the person he kept telling me I was, and trying to understand how, after all these years, I'm now 52, so after all these years, how on earth could this one person be so wrong about me? And I had never encountered anyone who would say the things he says about me and the insults, and I had never been viewed that way before. So you get sucked in so fast that you don't even know what to hit you, and you're so busy trying to figure out the pieces to the puzzle, to figure out why this person has such an incorrect why he is seeing you in such an incorrect light, I guess I'm trying to say. And you're so busy trying to change that and trying to correct that. You're trying to defend yourself, trying to defend your honor, trying to prove your innocence, trying to prove that you're not cheating, trying to get him back on the right track. And you think it's just a matter of a misunderstanding. You think it's just a misunderstanding of some kind, and there will be a resolution. And with a narcissist, that isn't the case. They're purposefully rocking your foundation. They don't want you to have joy. They don't want you to have success. They don't want you to feel good about yourself in any way. They don't want you to feel proud or accomplished or beautiful or anything positive or good. So they're not going to encourage anything that makes you feel that way. So they are drawn often to people who, I've used this term before, empathic. People who are just kind. People who are kind, who are maybe more on the kind side than your average person, or people that are true empaths. But at any rate, whatever the spectrum you find yourself on in that regard, generally it's a person that is always trying to help someone, always picking up broken, damaged people and trying to fix them. And of course, this has been a theme in my life. Never had I encountered a narcissist, but I have encountered a lot of broken people, and I, for whatever reason, have always been drawn to them, and I always, and think I can fix people, and generally I've had a good, I've, been able to help people generally. So I've always felt like that was my calling, so to speak, until I met the narcissist. And now, of course, that changes your entire perspective on life. It changes your willingness to reach out to people and for a long time with all of the insults, because that was one of the things he would always say to me. You give people stuff, and then the minute you get mad at them, you take it away. Like, for instance, when I would say, I'm done, I want you to move out, I don't want you in my house anymore. So then I'm giving something, but then I'm taking it away. So anyway, when you form these emotional attachments that you discover are not healthy for you, and you need to back off and figure out a way to get yourself some distance. Hopefully this list of 6 things will help. This is something I do. I get better and better at it every day. I've said this before. I'm still in the relationship, although the dynamics are quite a bit different, just because I have basically done these things, I guess. And so I'm hoping that means that there will be some type of an end to the relationship in the near future, because I can't continue to hope that he will actually see the light and change. I've asked, that many times. He's been to therapy. It's probably not going to happen. So as part of my exit strategy, I implement these 6 things. So the first one is, know where to draw the line. And I think that with a narcissist, that's a continual process, because they're always going to be trying to get you to push that line and stepping over it. So you need to be clear about what you will and won't put up with, and stand by that. I would say, with me, I have to be honest and say, obviously, I have allowed and been willing to put up with verbal abuse, because I'm still there. I believe my line would be physical abuse. If he physically abused me, I think that would be enough to say, I'm out, I'm done. I don't care what falls down behind me. This is it. So be clear in your own mind about where your line is, and ask yourself if you need to move that line. In my case, I probably do. The second thing is, you've heard people say have an exit plan. Well, yes, have a long-term exit plan. Have an exit plan that you can do. If you're in danger, then by all means, you need to have an immediate exit plan. But there's also another type of exit plan, and that is, a situational exit plan. So when you're sitting down and you see that it's going to go downhill fast, you can usually actually feel the energy of the narcissist when they're getting ready to explode. You can tell it's going to happen. You know it. So make yourself a plan to remove yourself from the situation, even if it's to go to the other room. Got a phone call, got to go make supper, anything you can, run to the store, go in the other room and watch a movie, read a book, something, whatever kind of distance you can get from them, that can be your exit plan. So have that in the back of your mind, so that if the situation is going south, you can remove yourself. I tend to want to have an exit plan ready for when I have my daughter there, and I know that he is getting ready to rage. If I can sense that he is angry and that he's just looking for something to set him off so he can start spewing his crap, usually I determine, if my daughter is not at daycare, then I will pretty much do anything I can to avoid that, because I don't want her exposed to it. If my daughter's not home and she is at daycare and I know she is safe, then I'm more inclined to let it happen. And not that I will ever get anywhere with it, but at least then I feel some relief, because I can voice my own feelings back at him. Whereas if my daughter's there, I have to shut up and figure out how to get him to stop, So a situational exit plan is a good thing. Another big one, Number 3 is don't overshare. Don't overshare anything with your narc. He is not going to tell you, great job, I'm so proud of you for that accomplishment at work. He is not even going to probably say, hey, that outfit looks so nice on you. Look what I got. I got a new outfit today. That looks beautiful. One thing like I do, I don't share anything about my children, my other children, because a narcissist is an information gatherer by nature, and they will be, taking notes about every single thing that you say, and they will use it later in a fight, and they will slant it to make it appear worse than it is. I could make 100 videos on examples of what that means, but like, for instance, in the beginning of my relationship, I am openly sharing that my son was killed in a car truck accident, actually. I had gotten divorced after that. My grandchild died. He was born without a brain and died at 12 days old. My nephew died in a car wreck. All these terrible things. And I'm sharing my heart and soul. And everything I had said, had basically came back in a negative way, in a hurtful way. Things that are very personal that I can't even go into, but, he would make comments about my adopted children, and comments just in general put a negative spin on everything. Like I had said terrible things about someone. One day, recently actually, he said something about my, your relationship with your ex-husband was just as bad. And he went on to say that I had said all of these things about my ex-husband, and that is not true. I had told him one time that about a situation where my son and my ex-husband had gotten into an argument, he and his dad, and then I was telling him about how they had really come to terms with each other and gotten a lot closer when he turned 18, when he was grown, and that was the whole conversation. But he, extrapolated that I had a terrible relationship, and that he said a lot of really ugly things. And the truth is that I'm still friends with my ex-husband. He is probably one of my best friends. And the reason we got divorced was because we grieved differently, and we still have much respect for each other. We still raised our adopted children together. We still do to this day. They're over 18, but parenting doesn't stop at 18. So nothing that he had said was true. And I wanted to defend the situation and those people in my life, but it doesn't do any good. So the bottom line there is don't overshare. Do not overshare. It will come back to bite you in the butt. Don't justify or explain your actions or your thoughts, because if they're saying they don't like them, or they think they're stupid or whatever, it isn't going to matter what you say. That's their opinion. So don't waste your breath. Just say something to them like, I feel good about my choice. Thank you. Thanks for your opinion. I'll keep that in mind, and then move on and try to change the subject. Or just be quiet and let them change the subject, or keep talking, because believe me, they always have plenty to say. So it's not like there'll be a quiet moment. Okay, so number 4, and I have really come to utilize this one a lot. Record your conversations. Everybody has a cell phone nowadays. Have a voice recorder on your cell phone. You may not be able to get the moment of the explosion or argument, but you'll be able to get it within just a couple seconds, because you can tell when it's going to happen. You can feel the energy. So be prepared and hit record. And for a lot of reasons, but the main reason, and this is the reason I started, you will not believe they change the story once the argument is over. They tell you that it was you, that you're the one that came at me, and your attitude is why I did this. And so, I started recording it basically to see if there was something I really was doing, because I, was actually trying to make the situation better. So I started recording to check myself. And then I started seeing, that's not what happened. He said, and this isn't what happened at all. And then I would catch little things that he had said and extra insults that I didn't even hear at the time. And it is a huge eye-opener to have hours and hours and hours of recording, which I have. And one of these days I'm going to share parts of them if I can figure out how to do it. But for your own benefit and for your own sanity, you study them later, and you will better know what you're dealing with. You will know what happened when they tell you it didn't. You will know it for sure. Don't expect that they're going to benefit anything from listening to it, but you will at least. And the other thing is if they do make threats to you, you will have some type of recording that says that they have done this. My narc gets mad. He's threatened to kill me. I don't even know how many times. Anyway, so it gives you some kind of evidence. I record mine, and then I upload it to my computer. So if you ever did get my phone, I would still have a copy of it. So the fifth one is the old term gray rock. That's where you're just not fully engaging with them. You are just really trying to keep it quiet and keep on the low key and not give them any responses. If you can't go no contact, go gray rock. That helps at least to keep your sanity, and it helps to reduce your vulnerability to them because they just don't have much to work with. My narc said to me recently in an argument, he said, "You ignore me," and I've never been ignored before. So I kind of patted myself on the back thinking, that's good. Yep, that's true. I do. And I've tried to explain to him before, I ignore you because those are my walls protecting me from your insults. But I don't even explain that anymore. I do. I ignore you. I go about my life. Which brings me to the last one, number 6. Focus on you. Focus on you and your life and how you can make your life better. Let go of the fact that you're in a relationship, because it's really not a relationship. A relationship is a two-way street where you both work on things. You both, love each other unconditionally, or you love each other with a common goal, and you want happiness for them and they want happiness for you. And that's something that, doesn't happen with a narcissist. So focus on you. Focus on what you can do to make yourself happy and fulfilled in other ways. Your hobbies, your interests, your job, your children, of course, first and foremost. And just give yourself the distance to emotionally detach from them and to feel fulfilled in other ways and confident in other ways. And there are plenty. If you're sitting around crying, and I watched another video from Kim Wilson TV the other day, which she is awesome, and I highly, highly recommend her. She has helped me out so much, but she talked about a woman that had written her that said after her breakup with her narcissist, she was free. And 20 years later, she was still reeling from the effects of the relationship, and she was still living in the, with her crushed feelings about herself and low self-esteem. And so my thought was that I'm going to do today, even still in the relationship, everything I can do to feel good about me and find other sources that can help you and fulfill the needs that you have for social interaction and intimacy, and just to boost your own self-esteem. So, your kids can hug you, and people at work can be your friend, and you can have interests and hobbies and things that make you a whole person. And I guess that would lead me into saying that probably if you've been with your narc for any length of time, you don't even realize how much of you have lost, how much of the old you have lost. Are there things that I don't want to go back to, like change-wise? Yes, there are. I don't want to ever be so trusting again. I want to always be cautious, much more cautious than I ever was before. But I don't want to lose me. I don't want to lose the person that does care about others, and that does want to reach out and help people and feel like I've had a positive impact on someone's life in the community I live in. And those are things that you don't have to let the narc take away from you. So I hope these things have given you some things to think about, and please subscribe to my channel and let me know that what I have to say is worth hearing. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you soon.